अस्त्युत्तरस्यां दिशि देवतात्मा हिमालयो नाम नगाधिराजः पूर्वापरौ तोयनिधीवगाह्य स्थितः पृथिव्या इव मानदण्डः. We finished with the 26th shloka in Parvati tapas. Shishira ruto tasyaha tapaha varnyate atra. So ninaya cha atyanta himotkaraanilaha sahasya ratrihi udavasa tatpara paraspara akrandini chakravakayoho puro viyukte mithune kripavati. So she herself was immersed in the water. Atyanta himo utkara anilaha. There is cold winds blowing during Shishira Ritu, which is in the month of Sahasya. I think it is Magha Masam. Hemantasya Antyamasaha. Okay. So Shishira Ritau. Chakravakayoho Mithune Viyukte Paraspara Akrandini Kripavati Sati Sa Ninaya. She spent the nights of that Shishira Ritu or Hemanta Ritu looking at the Chakravaka birds which are separated from each other and they are calling out to each other. So Devyaha Kripa Atra Suchyate. Even though she is also experiencing some kind of a trouble here, but still she has that capacity to feel compassion to other living beings also in the world. That is why she is Devi, right? The next one is Mukhena sa Padma Sugandhina Nishi Pravepamanadhara Patrashobhina Tushara Vrishti Kshata Padma Sampadam Saroja Santanamiva Akarot Apam. During the night and during this time, Shishira Rito, not many flowers are around, right? So the lotuses are not there. Tushara Vrishti Kshata Padma Sampadam Apam. The waters are usually, the lake does not have Padma Sampat, the wealth of lotuses, which are, because it has been Kshata, which have been destroyed. The wealth of the lotuses have been destroyed because of the snowfall. Tushara Vrishti. So Tushara Vrishti Kshata Padma Sampadam Apam as an adjective to Apam. The waters have the wealth of lotuses destroyed because of the snow. So the snow has fallen. The lotuses are all gone, so the water doesn't have lotus right now. But then, Devi wanted the water to have that continuity of lotus. She did not want it gone at all, so she stood inside the water with just her face showing out. So the face is Sarojam here. Her face, Devi's face is Sarojam. So Saroja Santanam Iva Akarot Mukhena. Sa Parvati Swamukhena, with her face, which had the sweet smell of a lotus, Padma Sugandhina Mukhena, Nishi during the night, and her lower lip was also, which is looking like the patram, the leaf of a lotus. Pravepamana, it was trembling due to the cold and because of the fact that she is neck deep inside the water. Tatha Mukhena, with her face, she continued the existence of Sarojam, lotus, even at night. So you can take it as, at least in the morning when there is sun, there will be a little bit of lotus. But then when it is night, the snow comes or that dew falls, very cold, and the panimbo, we call it pani in Tamil. So when that falls, it destroys the lotuses, whereas she wanted the waters to continue to have that lotus. So her face was as fresh as a lotus even during the nights of winter. Itham ugre tapasi vartamanayaha api devyaha vadanam Ujjvalameva abhut iti imam artam bhangyantarena aha. So her face, even though ugre tapasi vartamanayaha, she is performing ugra tapas, fierce penance here. Still, her face was bright and fresh like a lotus. Sa nishi padma sugandhina mukhena tushara vrishtikshata padma sampadam apam saroja santanam akarot iva. Utpreksha alankara. It was as if she tried to continue the lotus. It should not be destroyed. Santanam nale, we say santati, progeny. So here it is the existence of the Saroja. Sa udavasa tatparatvat since she had decided to stay inside the water during Shishira Ritu, winter, Udake Mukhamatra Drishya Parvati. In the water only her face was shown, the rest of the body neck deep inside the water. Tatha Ugram Tapaha. Nishi Shishira Ratrau during the winter nights. Anena Saroja Santana Karana Yogyata Darshita. So Santana Karana Yogyata na, during the night you don't have the continuity of lotus shining. So because it was the night, the Nishi iti padena atra ratrau yatra, there is no blooming of lotus at all during the night. She continued that lotus with her face. Padma Sugandhina, Padmavat Sugandhina, usually Shobhanaha Gandhaha Yasya Tat Sugandhi Mukham, her face which had the sweet smell of a lotus. So Mukhasya Sugandhitvam Prasiddham Padmini Padmagandha Syat. Padmini ngardu, it's a kind of Uttamastri. So Padmini, she is called, an Uttamastri is called Padmini because her Shwasam has that smell of a lotus. Even in Ramayanam, Nishwasa iva Sitayaha, Nishwasa iva Sitayaha, probably where there Sita Viraha Samaye, this is Ramayana only, first lyric. Padma Kesara Samsrushto Vrikshantara Vinisritaha Nishwasa iva Sitayaha Vati Vayur Manoharaha. Okay. Oh, this is in Kishkinda Kanda. Correct. When Rama is separated from Sita, and then he enters into Kishkinda Kanda, that is when, this is the first one of the few shlokas there. Padma Kesara Samsrishtaha Vrikshantara Vinisritaha. Padma is lotus. So the Kesara is the Makarandam, the pollen grains that come from the lotus. Padma Kesara Samsrishtaha. It is connected. The trees are all connected with the lotus's dhuli also. And the wind that comes through the trees is like Vati Vayuhu Manoharaha. The attractive Vayu is like as attractive as the breath of Sita. So it has that fragrance. Iti. Nishwasa iva Sitayaha Vati Vayuhu Manoramaha. Tushara Vrishtya Himajala Varshena, because of snowfall, Kshata Nashta Padma Sampat. Pankaja Samriddhihi, the prosperity or the wealth of lotuses have been destroyed in the waters. Tadrishinam apam jalanam saroja sarojanam santanam avichedam akarot. There is no stopping or obstacle for the continuity of the lotus because her face became a lotus here. Tushara varshat Itareshu Sarojeshu Vinashteshu Satsu. Because of snowfall, when other lotuses have completely been destroyed, Devyaha Vadana Sarojameva, Devi's face which is like a lotus, Tada Shishira Ratrau Jale Drishtam Asit, that was seen in the water by people. Tena Devi Kripa Vashat, because she has a kripa, compassion towards even the waters, even the lake. Saroja Santati Vicheda Abhavartham. Sarojameva Tasya Santatihi. It's like the Sarojam, the lotuses are the children of the water because it is born out of Sarasi Jayate iti Sarojam. Right? So it is like a son or child for the lake. And that Santati, that lineage should not be stopped during night. So out of Kripa, Devi herself became the lotus here. Sarojam nijamukhena kritavati iva iti jananam utpreksha jata. So it is a fancy that the people talk about. So it is an utpreksha alankara. Mukhasya saroja samyameva sputayati pravepamana adhara patra shobhina. Why is her face like, not only is there sweet smelling lotus smell in her face, but also the leaves of a lotus, her lips are like the leaves of a lotus. So or the petals of a lotus. Appadi eduthikalam. Pravepamanena sheetavashat prakarshena vepamanena, or because of the cold, her adhara, her lower lip, which is extremely trembling, adharena iva patrena dalena, dalam tu atra petals. So her lips are like the rosy petals of a lotus, and it is trembling because of the cold. Shobhitum sheelam asya iti sarojapatram hi vatavashat kampana yuktam kampram atayeva atyanta himotkara anilaha iti purvasmin shloke uktam. The winds of Shishira Ritu are extremely cold. So her lips are also trembling because of the cold weather. Atra kampra dalatvam, kamra swarupatvam, kampra dalatvam, these are the common things to say that her face is also like a sarojam. The leaves are shaking. Kamra swarupatvam, beauty in nature, beauty in form. Sugandhitvam, fragrance. Saroja santana utpreksha nimittam. These are the three hetu for us to say that Devi's face is saroja. Adharasya patra rupanat mukhasya patra rupanam arthat ayatam. So here, mukham eva sarojam iti na uktam. The only rupakam that is used here is adharam patram iva, or patram adharam eva patram, which means there is only ekadesha rupakam, not paramparita rupakam. So there are two types of rupakalankara. If the rupakalankaram is present only between two objects, in just one portion of an object, and you extend the rupakam, it is understood, it is vyangyam, it is not vachyam, then only one portion has rupakam, the other portion of the rupakam is understood, then it is called ekadesha vivarti. Only in one desham the rupakam exists. It does not exist completely in everything. If it exists continuously in everything, then it is called paramparita rupakam. Okay. So here mukhena, mukhapadmena iti yadi uktam, mukhapadmena padma sugandhina pravepamana adharapatrena, then it becomes a paramparita rupakam. Otherwise it is just an ekadesha vivarti. Mukhena sa padma sugandhina nishi pravepamana adharapatra shobhina tushara vrishti kshata padma sampadam saroja santanam iva akarod apam. One thing I wanted to mention in our Mallinatha's Vyakhyanam, he says there is Vyatireka Alankara Vyangyam. That is... no, Vyatireka Alankara Vyangyam is fine. Padmantaram, Vyatireka Alankaram is where you are comparing two objects, Upamanam, Upameyam, but Ekasya Visheshaha Tatra Varnyate. The Upameyam is better than the Upamanam, or there is a little bit, it is the same, but at the same time there is one shade better. In one quality it is much better. Then if you are showing the difference between two objects, then it is called Vyatireka Alankara. Here he says Padmantaram, other lotuses, Tuhinena Upahanyate. Other lotus will get destroyed because of the snow. Tanmukha Padmam, but Devi's Parvati's Mukha Padmam, tu na tatha, it does not get destroyed by the snow. Iti Vyatireka Alankaraha Vyajyate. Until this portion, it is correct. So the Vyatireka Alankara is not directly said in the shloka, so it is Vyajyate, Vyangyena Drishyate. That is fine. But then he says, Ubayoho Sankaraha, usually in Sankara Sthalam, both have to be Vachyam, or both have to be Vyangyam. When there is one Vyangyam and one Vachyam, you don't say Sankara. Sankara is usually, but there is an Vachyalankara, Vyangyalankara saha, Sankaraha is also allowed in certain places. I think it becomes a Dhvani Kāvyam then. So adu vandu you will read in Kavya Prakasha this kind of a Sankara. Suddenly he will bring in one alankara like this. For others he will just leave out. Where Mallinatha is generally silent about alankaras, here suddenly he brought in this Sankara and Vyangya Vyatireka alankara also, which is nice. There is also the Ekadesha Vivarti Rupakam. Okay. Mukhena sa padma sugandhina nishi प्रवेपमाना धरपत्र शोभिना तुषारवृष्टि षतपद्म संपदां सरोजसंतानम इवाकरोदपाम.
Ma'am, 1 minute. They talk about the lips as generally face is a lotus, that is well known. Lips being leaves or petals is not that well known comparison, right?
It is, because it is also adhara patram is very common. Adhara patram is common. Adhara dalam, yeah, petal. Sometimes, yes. Maybe
Also,
not as common as Mukhapadmam, but definitely there are comparisons between Adharapatra and Adharadala.
And what it is for, it's not because of color, why, how the Samanya will come?
Color only. Dalam, no? The lotus's petal is also this thing. Or it is in the shape of a patram, leaf-like.
Okay.
Or just the kampratvam, the kampamana gunaha vartate, you can say, for both. But patram here, take it as petal, so it is shaped like the petal of a lotus or a kuvalaya pushpam, something, like a leaf or a petal. Shape only.
And also the Ankara that you are talking in Saundarya, Sarojam Tvatpado Janani Jeta Chitramihakim.
That is Vyatireka directly is there, no?
Okay.
Vachyartha. Atra tu mukham padmam jayate iti nasti. There Sarojam Tvatpado Janani Jayataha. Directly it is being said. So the lotus, your feet are winning over, conquering the lotuses.
Here it said indirectly or not the direct
suggested. Yeah, this is suggested. Okay. Swayam vishirna druma parna vrittita parahi kashtha tapasas taya punaha तदप्यपाकीर्णम अतः प्रियं वदाः वदन्ति अपर्णा इति च ताम पुराविदः. I think Mallinatha takes a different reading here. Aparnam iti, he takes the same reading. I think he says priyam vadam instead of priyam vada. Both are fine. If it is priyam vadam tam, it goes as an adjective to tam. If it is priyam vadaha, as we have in this text, then it is an adjective to puravidaha. That's all. Now, tapasaha, in general, he is saying, what is the ultimate supreme level, supreme state of tapas? Tapasaha parakashtahi. This is one sentence here. Okay. Swayam vishirna druma parna vrittita eva tapasaha parakashtahi. The supreme level, the ultimate final level of tapas, parakashta. Kashta is always konam, corner. So you can take it as the zenith of tapas. So the pinnacle of tapas is swayam vishirna druma parna vrittita. Living vrittihi jivika. You live the concept of living on leaves of trees, wherein the leaves have automatically dried and fallen down. Swayam vishirnaha drumanam vishirnani drumanam parnani. The leaves of the trees have automatically dried and they have fallen down. You take those leaves and live with those leaves. This is the final form of tapas. You live only with that leaves which have automatically fallen down. You don't even pluck the leaves from the tree and eat them. Tadapi apakirnam, even having those leaves, taya punaha, by Parvati, she went beyond the ultimate level of tapas. That is tadapi apakirnam. She stopped even eating those leaves. Ataha, hence, priyam vadaha puravidaha. Puravidaha, people, ancient scholars or ancient rishis who always talk very sweetly about others. Aparna iti tam vadanti. They call her as Aparna. So they name her as Aparna. Simple shloka, but the concept is very beautiful. In Saubhagya Bhaskaram, the word Aparna has a totally different meaning. Apagatam rinam yasyaha sa is there in Bhaskar Raya. Usually anybody who quotes Bhaskar Raya's commentary, they will say Aparna is not just without parnam, without leaves, but apagatam rinam.
The verse will be very famous there, I think.
Bharayate.
Katam aparneti, rudir bharetenate. So I have been talking of your name that much. So you have been no runa to me.
Yeah. So you have showered me with your grace so much. That's what it is. No? So that is, you don't have any debt at all. So it is not a vyutpatti there. Atha atyanta duscharam tapontaram aha. Tapontaram. Anyat tapaha tapontaram. Another tapas. Which is extremely duscharam. This is most difficult to follow. Swayam vishirna drumaparna vrittitahi tapasaf parakashta. Taya punaha tadapi apakirnam. Ataha puravidaha tam aparneti cha vadanti. Kalapakavashat, because of the change in seasons, Kalapakavashat, Swayameva vishirnaihi patitaihi drumanam vrikshanam parnaihi patraihi vrittihi jivika yatra tapasi. The tapas in which your jivika, the way you live, is with the leaves that have automatically fallen down after they have completely become dried and they fall because of Kalapakaha, the turn of time. Sahi tapasaha parakashta, that is the final level of tapas. Hi prasiddhav. So prasiddhischa kalapakvai swayam shirnaihi vaikhanasa matestitaha ityadishu manvadi vachaneshu cha drashtavyah. Kalapakvaihi swayam shirnaihi. I think this is there in Manu Dharma Shastra. Manusmriti. Manusmritila Pushpa Moola Phalairvapi Kevalair Vartayet Sada. This is in 6th chapter, 21st verse. Kalapakvai Swayam Shirnaihi Vaikhanasa Mate Sthitaha. Vaikhanasa, when you are in the Vanaprasthashramam, Pushpa Moola Phalaihi Vapi. Either you eat flowers, there are edible flowers. Moolam, tuber, phalam, fruits. Kevalaihi Vartayet Sada. Only by eating these things. Kalapakvaihi Swayam Shirnaihi. Or by those which have automatically fallen down because of the turn of time. Only those you eat. Tatha eva vaikhanasamate stitaha. A person who is in the Vanaprastha, he has to live only by these things. Iti manvadi vachaneshu drashtabhya. Para utkrishta utkarshantarahita. Para is the final, ultimate, which means there is samana, adhika varjita. So there is nothing else beyond this the form of tapas. So kashta is utkarshaha. Para kashta becomes the ultimate final. Taya punaha punashabdaha visheshamaha. So what did she do? Tat swayam vishirna druma parnamapi apakirnam tyaktam. She gave up even those leaves which automatically fall down. Ataha parnatyagadeva hetoho. Because of that, purvavidaha, purva vrittanta, the people who knew her, who knew about this vrittantam, that she will be performing this tapas or she would do the tapas. She did the tapas in this manner. Parnam asyaha nasti iti anaya vyutpatya tam aparna iti cha vadanti ityarthaha. So using the vyutpatti, etymological derivation, they say parnam asyaha na vidyate iti aparna. Abhijatyadi shlaghi bandujana udirita parvatyadi nama samuchayarthaha cha shabdaha. This cha shabdaha should be together. It is one word here. So in the shloka, he says, Aparneti cha tam puravidaha. She was also known as Aparna, along with other names like Parvati, etc., which were said by Udirita, which were said by her Bandhujana, relatives, Shlaghi Bandhujana, or people, praiseworthy people, or Abhijatyadi, or people who were born in a good kulam, or people who know them really well. The names that they kept, along with all of those names, Uma iti tapase nivrittasa iti uktam purvam. So along with all of those names, she was also called Aparna. Aparneti vadinam puravidam Parvati ityadi vadibhyaha bandhujanebhyaha vishesham. Those ancient people, or those who understood this vrittantam, they called her Aparna because they are Priyavadi. They are better than the Bandhujana because Priyam, Ishtam Vadanti. They only talk about Atmanaha Icham. So Atmana eva kritasya atyanta duscharasya tapasaha stutehe tesham visheshataha Priyam Vadatvam. We are performing some tapas. Parvati has excelled us. They are actually admiring Parvati here and saying Aparna. Iti. So, Atmana kritasya duscharasya tapasaha stutehe. As if to praise their own tapas, they're actually saying good things about somebody who has excelled their own tapas. Rinam, Ishtam, Adatvaiva. Natu Adalaiva.
Tvannama japato mama. Shive kathamaparneti rudir bharayate. That was when first time I read it, I was like in a trance shock. How can someone write like this?
Yeah, it's a very beautiful shloka. Rudhihi bharayate nate.
I think it's OCR mistake. Bharayate nate.
Bharayate, correct only. That is correct. Nate. So rinam ishtam adatvaiva, without completing. No. I'm just trying to understand.
Ishtam runam adatva tvannama japato mama.
I am continuously doing japam of your name without even giving you anything in return. Huh?
No. I'm doing your japa, but you have not given the ishta for me. But you call yourself as Aparna. Doesn't this name is
this is
Bharayate.
He is expecting Bhavanitvam dase mahi vitara drishtim sakarunam. Whereas the opposite of that is Shankaracharya. Yeah. He said, I was only going to ask for your kripa kataksham, but you have given me sayujjam there.
Here it's reverse.
Reverse, no?
Doesn't this name that you kept for yourself, isn't it carrying weight for you? Okay.
You're not living up to your name, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, you have to give me something in return, no? Blackmail. Yeah. Yes. This is called Agraha Bhakti. Idila Varun, I think in Ananda Sagarastavam or something, he will say, or some other this thing, I have come and done namaskara to you, surrendered to you completely. If you don't treat me well, you are only getting a bad name for yourself. Agraha Bhakti. Swayam Vishirna Drumavarna Vrittita Parahikashta Tapasastaya Punaha Tadapyapakirna Mataf Priyam Vada Vatantyaparneti Cha Tam Puravidaha.
Vaivambu Parnashana is also famous, right? No? Vaivambu Parnashana. That who only some Bhartrihari or somewhere I heard this. Vaivambu Parnashana. Vishwamitra Parashara Prabhrateo Vaivambu Parnasa. Something.
Okay.
That's famous first.
Okay. Vaivambu
Parnashana.
Parnashana. Okay. Apagatam Rinam is another way, no? So, actually it is explained as something like I keep the very fact that I am saying your nama itself is only a case of punyapalan. No? Without her giving me this punyam or showing her grace, I can't even utter her name. So even with that, the rinam is gone. She doesn't keep anything with her. That's the way of explaining it usually.
Katamakrita punya prabhavati, I think. That way.
Exactly.
Oh. Very nice, actually.
Yeah.
Mrinali.
See, that is apagatam rinam. She has no debts with her bhakta. I have complete, my balance sheet is complete, is what she says.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. Mrinalika pelavam evamadivihi vrataistadangam glapayanti aharnisham tapas sharireh katinair uparjitam tapasvinam duramadhas chakarasa. With this, her tapas ends, and the next shloka is where Parameshwara comes in. Mrinalika pelavam tadangam evamadivihi vrataihi aharnisham glapayanti sa tapasvinam api tapaha duram adhaschakara. So she does such vratam with the evamadibihi purvoktaihi vrataihi. The different types of vratam that she has performed has been described till now, right? So evamadibihi vrataihi, with all these sorts of penances, tadangam mrinalika pelavam angam glapayanti aharnisham. Day and night she is constantly causing her body to fade away, because her body is as soft, pelavam, as mrinalika, as the lotus stalk. Tatha glapayanti, she is her abde melinju point irukkum. We say, krisha jata sa glapayanti aharnisham shatrapratyaya sa parvati kathinaihi shariraihi uparjita tapasvinam kathinaihi shariraihi uparjitam tapaha duram adhaschakara. This is possible. This kind of tapas is usually possible only by tapasvi who have a really strong body, a harsh body which has titiksha, which is capable of taking on any sort of hardship. But she has very soft parts of her body, and yet she is constantly involved in doing such great tapas, which is possible only, which has been earned, uparjitam, the tapas that has been earned by the tapasvi with their kathina shariram. Even that tapas, sa Parvati duram adhaschakara, she completely overshadowed the tapas that the great tapasvins do. With her body, which is so soft, she is able to do much more, and she excelled the yogis here. So, athaiva, atha, evam kriyamanasya tapasaha siddhim aha. So, this is the siddhi, the success of her tapas is being described here. Mrinalika pelavam tadangam evamadibihi vrataihi aharnisham glapayanti sa tapasvinam kathinaihi shariraihi uparjitam tapaha duram adhaschakara. Anvaya. Mrinalika kapratyaya alparte kapratyaya. So mrinalam nama, it is lotus stalk. When you say mrinalika, it is just bala mrinali. It's just a soft sprout that has just come about. Tadvat pelavam mridu. Her body is as soft as just a sprouted stalk, lotus stalk. Anena hima jala samparkadi asahanatvam uktam. This is already said in the beginning itself. Shirisha pushpam napunaf patatrinaha. Shirisha pushpa, her body is like Shirisha pushpam. It can only tolerate the soft pelavam padam. It can only tolerate the soft feet of a bee, but not if a big bird comes and descends on the flower. So, how can you tolerate this tapas? Iti mata pritchati kalu mena purvam. So, he concludes it. Whatever you start with, see, Kālidāsa is such a beautiful essay writer, in that way he presents his concept in a cogent manner. Upakrama Upasamhara should be beautiful here. Her tapo upakramaha started with the reasons that Mena gave, saying, how can your body tolerate this? You cannot, right? I'll go over here very quickly on the shlokat, the first one. Yesha sakartum avandya kamatam nishamya uvacha. Padam saheta brahmarasya. This is the start of that. The moment she heard that she's going to do tapas, Mena, the mother, says, there are, manishita santi grihesha devataha tapakkovatse kvachatavakam vapuhu. Padam saheta brahmarasya. Your body cannot tolerate something which is so harsh. Just like a flower which cannot tolerate the descent of a bird on itself. So he concludes by saying, yes, it is still soft even after such harsh tapas. Yet she continued and excelled the normal tapasvi here. Anena prathama sarga prapanchitam. Tat iti lokottaram. Tat engaradu tadangam ityasti khalu. Tasyaha angam. So this is an arthantra sankramicha vachyadvani where you don't merely translate it as tat angam parvatyaha angam or tasyaha angam parvatyaha angam itina. You take it as tat angam lokottaram angam, that which is beyond what you see in the world, divine form that Devi has. So you have to take the entire prathama sarga here. Prathama sarga prapanchitam sakalamapi saukumaryam anusmaritam. He has immediately, I have only taken from 5th sarga here, the 6th shloka, which Mena says, that's all. But you have to imagine bring in all of the first sarga shlokas which described the beauty of Parvati to your mind. Okay? Angam shariram evamadibihi purvokta prakaraihi vrataihi niyamaihi ahascha nishacha aharnisham samitkusham itivati ekavadbhavaha napunsakatvam. At the same time, it is also dvitiya vibhakti because atyanta samyoge dvitiya. Atyanta samyoga nama without break. So masam adhite ityukte some mas in every day and night 24/7 by 30 all days continuously he was studying. Masam adhite iti dvitiya vibhakti. When you say masena adhite, he quickly finished siddhim avapnoti iti artha. He quickly finished by studying in a month itself. He finished. That's all. He need not have studied all days in that, all 30 days in that month. He could have just studied for 2 days, but with the first day of the month and the last day of the month, within a month he finished it. That is also possible. But when you put it in dvitiya, there is no break at all. Kāladhvanor atyanta samyoge. Sarvada eva ityarthaha. So aharnisham vrataihi glapayanti shoshayanti. She was constantly emaciating her body. Tapasvinam maharshinam kathinaihi janmatav prabhriti parichayavashat atapadi samsarga sahaihi shariraihi. For tapasvi who are living in the forest itself, they have born in the forest, they have been living in the ashrama from young age, so they are used to this kind of heat and cold and everything, and not living in luxury like Parvati has. Uparjitam sanchitam tapaha. The tapas that they have accumulated right from their birth, because they are associated with it constantly, hence they were able to do it, and their body sahanashilam vartate sahaihi shariraihi. So they could tolerate all of these things with their body. As Parvati was not like that. Even that tapas, dhuram adhaschakara ishat sadharmyenapi rahitam yatha bhavati tatha atyantam adhakritavati. See, dhuram adhaschakara itself means tiraskaranam akarot. She completely overshadowed their tapas. Here, dhuram means even a little bit of sadharmyam is not there. Even there's tapas, Parvati's tapas is somewhat similar to Vishwamitra's tapas. Tatha nasti. No, Parvati tapas is Parvati tapas. That's all. Aparna jatilam vata. Yeah. It is the most difficult tapas that she has performed here and shown as an idol for everybody. Even just as how Parameshwara is yoginam api agamya rupam. Yeah. Ekaishwarye sthitopi pranata bahupale.
Yes, Svayam Krittivasaha.
That's the one. So all the three Mangala Shlokams of the Kāvya, the Natakam of Kālidāsa talks about Parameshwara as the Yoginam Api Yogi. He is the best among the yogi. So Ishat Sadharmyena api Rahitam Yatha Bhavati Tatha Atyantam Adah Kritavati. She completely overshadowed that tapas anena, tapas siddhi katanena. By showing her, tapas has the fruition of that tapas has been arrived. So tapo varnanam upasamhritam iti avaseyam. So we have to understand that the conclusion of the tapas has been done in this shloka. Mrinalika pelavam evamadibihi vrataistatangam glapayanti aharnisham tapassharireih katinair uparjitam tapasvinam duram adhaschakarasa. From the next it is Parameshwara enters and a conversation between Parvati and Parameshwara happens. Okay, very beautiful section. The next one also. We'll do that next class.
Here Mrinali means what? The stack of lotus?
Mrinalika, stalk. The tandem.
So the inside part of filament part of lotus.
That is the one. Yes. So usually there is the stalk of the lotus. And then inside there is the Mrinala, which is like a sutram. So you can use that Mrinala sutra. Third Sarga, she takes the lotus seeds and then ties it with a Mrinala sutram and offers it to Parameshwara as a gift. Yeah. That is when his hands touch her hands and Manmatha enters. Right? Okay. Mrinala is like a small thread-like thing that is there within the lotus stalk.
Even in Saundarya also, Mrinali Mritvinam
Tava Bhujalakanam Chatasrinam.
I think they all copy or they have much influence on one another, at least.
Yeah, Kavi Samayam has certain stock upamanas.
Okay.
You know, you don't take new upamanas and say something different. You know, because usually they don't. And in those days, there was a set of stock upamanas that they use. You go to Mrichakatikam, you will find different upamanas there. Because Hasya Janakam upamanam tatra bhavait. The character, see, it reflects the status of the character. So, Prakriti nam Traividhyam vartate. Uttama, Madhyama, Nicha. Prakriti. So, in Kavyas, in general, we are only dealing with Uttama Prakriti. So, the Upamanam that they use will also be Uchitam for an Uttama Prakriti. You go to dramas like Mrichakatikam or that Mahendra Pallava has written one. One Prahasanam. Not Prahasanam. What is that? I forget the name. Kapalika allam varu Mahendra Pallava has written a natakam about Buddha Bhikshu and Jaina and all that. See, in those, you have characters which are, Nietzsche characters are also there. They will also say shlokas. When they say shlokas, what will they compare to? No, the moon. What is the moon like? No, he will say it is like the fresh buffalo cream Navanitam that has come about. That's all he knows. He can't talk about jasmine flowers there.
Okay.
So it depends on the prakriti, on the character that the poet is trying to portray here.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Check.